Hello, and welcome to Life in the Philly Suburbs with Sharon. I am Sharon Loudenbach. I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I am a resident in White Marsh Township, and I'm a real estate agent with Compass Real Estate in Philly in the suburbs. Today, we are going to speak with Adam Baldwin. I'm going to introduce him in a little bit. I'm going to first tell you a little bit about this podcast and where it came from. I decided a couple months ago, after living my entire life in the Philadelphia suburbs and selling real estate the last 10 years in the Philadelphia suburbs, that I've met so many great people and businesses in the region that I thought I would bring them to our listeners. So here we are. Today, just really quickly, I'm going to give you a little tidbit of realtor wisdom. And isn't this horrible? I need to bring up my notes really quick. Pause. Okay. This week, I'm talking about wall colors because a lot of the discussion with my sellers and because of what the buyers choose, people are still looking for very neutral and bright paint colors when they're looking at houses. I mean, neutral still seems to be it. So I came up with a recommendation of the four wall colors that tend to work the best for most homes. So I just wanted to share them with everybody today. We have Benjamin Moore, Revere Pewter, Sherwin-Williams, Agreeable Gray, Sherwin-Williams City Loft, and Benjamin Moore Edgecombe Gray. I have at least two out of the four colors in my house. They all tend to go with one another, so it's really funny. I have like one room is one color, one room is the next color. You can't even tell the difference in colors. Anyway, they look great. They go with just so many things and all your furnishings, and it really does brighten the house because I mean, Adam, you'll agree with me that when a client paints a color that is a little bit of a deeper warm color, more of a either in the mustards that a lot of us used to use, because the jewel tones
Mhm.
used for a long time, mustards and reds and greens. When you go through and paint them one of these grayish colors, it really does brighten the photos. Oh my God, they look so great in
Yeah.
our photographer colors.
What do
And
you
that's
think of the drenching trend,
okay, I
where
don't
you
know.
use the same color to paint the wall surface, the trim around doors and baseboards and ceilings?
Yeah, I'm seeing that with designers. Not a big fan.
Drenching.
I'm still a huge fan of white trim, of
Same.
white woodwork trim, doors, everything. But I'm not necessarily the hippest in colors. In fact, the newest color, if you've heard of it for this spring, is peach. Can't do it.
No.
I can't do it.
Huh.
Yeah, it's back. Peach is back. Yeah.
Peach is back. And
Yeah.
black doors are a thing.
Yeah, black doors are cool. Black or dark gray. Oh,
Yeah.
sheesh. So I do like that. My dog is here with me today for our podcast. Okay, shush. Anyway, let's continue. Adam, you are also a real estate agent with Compass Real Estate and residential real estate, a little bit in Philadelphia, but also in South Jersey, where you've moved recently. Adam and I have known each other for probably 15 or so years. We knew each other from, and I'll get into it in a little bit, but I may as well just get into it now. Adam was my, what did you call it? You're the executive assist, what were you? My account executive when you were with KYW News Radio, which is really cool.
Yes.
We've known each other, and ironically, we both ended up out of our previous line of work and decided to both go into real estate around the same time. So we're going to get into that. Before we get into that, let me open up the floor to you. Tell our listeners about who you are, where you grew up, just a little backstory of Adam Baldwin.
Oh, thank you. I like to say that I'm a nobody. I'm kidding. I'm a Delco native, Temple alum, and until recently a 2 decade long Philadelphian. My family, which consists of me, my beautiful bride, and our lovely girls, I called them the Baldwin Beauties. We were like a lot of families in the pandemic who sat around the kitchen table in a row home in Philadelphia and thought about making a move to the suburbs. Through purposeful research and knowledge we have of the region from living here for so long, but also being a real estate agent, we decided and landed on Cherry Hill, New Jersey, in an area in a neighborhood called Barclay Farm. It's been really eye-opening. If anybody wants to learn about how a driveway works, I can tell them. It's really been great. And why am I sound surprised by that? Because I am, because I felt like Philadelphia is in my DNA. If you cut me, I bleed little Liberty Bells. Um, it's been great. And it's been great to see like our girls who are now ages 7 and 5 grow and develop and probably end up saying I grew up in New Jersey, which is an adjustment.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, but they'll be proud New Jerseyans.
One of the reasons to have you on was because I mean I wanted to talk about the differences in the regions because we're really all Philly suburbs, right? I represent the PA side because I'm only licensed in Pennsylvania. I don't do the Jersey side, but I mean we're going to talk a lot about the differences between the differences in real estate and the practice of real estate, Pennsylvania versus New Jersey, because there definitely are some differences.
Yeah,
Um, your kids probably don't even know the difference. How many years ago did you move to Cherry Hill?
just two, and it kind of flew by. Um, so they were 5 and 3, and now they're 7 and 5.
Yeah. So they're now like in schools and have the friends and are doing soccer or gymnastics or whatever.
Every night. It's
And
funny. It was soccer Tuesday night, gymnastics last night, and tonight is one of them has tap, which I think is great.
oh, do you help? Are you the tap dad?
I have two left feet.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
So I'm not the tap dad.
me too. Me too. Luckily my daughter was not the girly girl, so she didn't do dance or tap. She was
Yeah,
playing softball and soccer. My son was the one who did some gymnastics, so I got to relive those times in my life through him. But yeah, my daughter isn't into any of the dance things. She's like a group athlete, field athlete.
yeah, that's really just it's been great. You see, you mentioned some of the similarities and some of the differences. There are both, and it might be surprising for some of the people who tune into your podcast. I'm one of those people to hear about. I mean, the housing stock has some similarities, right? Like lot size, features, type, and where you want to be in terms of what budget and what type of neighborhood, proximity to commercial or entertainment, far out and with a neighbor not even close to you. So you have all of those options
Yeah.
in the western suburbs of PA and in New Jersey. So the 5 county Delaware Valley region. Um, Taxes are something people want to talk about a lot, right, Sharon? Um, it's dependent upon the assessed value of a subject property, but $8,000 to $15,000 a year in some townships in New Jersey, and that's probably on par with where you live, right?
So yes and no. So you say 8 to 15,000. Give me a price point of the house
So
that.
like 450 to 850.
Okay. So ours will probably be taxes wise, maybe 30% less in that
Oh,
range.
okay.
Um, so let's just backtrack here for a second.
Yeah, yeah.
What Adam's saying is, a major topic when we work with clients and they're, Philly, like you say, the 5 county area based. A lot of times, and even when I first started, when I moved out of the house and I was starting to even rent, I considered New Jersey. And then obviously was looking at the real estate issue, which is the houses in New Jersey, the sale price, the pricing of the homes tends to be a little bit less if you're comparing if we could actually pick up a house that's in the Montgomery County portion of the suburbs of Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, and then put it over in South Jersey. The house price will be less in Jersey, but the taxes are going to be at least that 30% higher. Typically, that's plus or minus. Now I'm throwing numbers off the cuff, but
Mhm.
that being said, it depends on where you sit. Like if you're sitting in an environment that you're going to pay cash for a house, and the only thing that's going to, change is the tax payment, maybe that doesn't matter. It's fine. You pay your taxes every year. It's fine. If you're in a position that you're mortgaging and that, that tax can really put you in or out of a payment, these are the things that we have to, discuss and talk through with our clients. Now, I have a question. The clients that you're working with mostly that are buying in South Jersey, where are they moving from?
Philadelphia.
So you're tending to see most of your client base is moving out of Philly into South Jersey.
Yeah, I mean, we know what we know because of who we know, and as a longtime Philadelphian, know a
Yeah.
lot of current Philadelphians, and because I truly believe it, I'm an advocate for this suburban life that I've come to really fall in love with
Yeah.
in Berkeley Farms, specifically in Cherry Hill. I love all the towns along the Patco, right?
Mhm.
From Collingswood to Haddon Township to Haddon Field, Westmont, Morristown,
Morristown, yeah.
North, you're in Pensauken or Maple
Carlton.
Shade, and they all have things to offer.
Yeah.
Um, and I've loved over 2 years plus, like learning about that. So if I meet someone who's a friend of a friend who's currently living in Philadelphia and maybe they have a small family and need to right size their living situation, get a house that fits their needs, um, that's a great phone call to be a part of and have a consultation with them because
Yeah.
at the Baldwin team we're happy to be that bridge from Philadelphia to South New Jersey.
So do most of your clients ask you, like, talk to me about Pennsylvania suburbs versus Jersey suburbs? Do you hear that a lot?
So yes, and I can speak firsthand and share anecdotes about our search. So I shared at the top that I grew up in Delaware County.
Yeah.
So I always aspired to Western Delco, Swarthmore Media, Rose Tree. Like I
I was there
loved it
earlier
there.
today.
Yes, like amazing. Like growing up, it was always a treat to go to Rose Tree Park,
Mhm.
to run with the dogs, to bike along that trail, to see shows in that natural amphitheater. And media is such a cool, cute downtown. There's just so much to offer. So I tried. I brought my wife, I brought the kids, I brought her family. I'm like, look, and I tried 2 years ago to pitch the benefits of that area. Now, of course, you should know my wife is from New Jersey, so that we now live in New
Ah,
Jersey.
of course you do.
But I felt like I reminded myself, having grown up in that region and aspired to that area, I reminded myself of the things about it that are so great, and now great through the lens of a parent. And then learned more and as much as I could, and was a sponge about the almost parallel,
Yeah.
25-minute east instead of west. And it was really great. So if people have those questions, and they do, current homeowners in Philadelphia aspiring to a suburb, Western or Jersey, we can speak to that, and we can speak to the clients who we've helped in either direction.
Yeah.
Some of our team members, are set up in the western suburbs of PA, and where I live in New Jersey, we have me and another team member who are in Cherry Hill.
Yeah, just so all of you listeners understand, like Adam and I will trade. I don't know if trade is the right word, but refer business to each other because I don't
Mhm.
sell in New Jersey, nor would I really be serving my clients the best for selling in New Jersey because it's not my beat, it's just
Yeah.
not my beat.
Likewise with Plymouth Meeting and me. Yeah.
I mean, I happen to have run a business over in Jersey for about 20 years, but it wasn't my home base. Like I didn't know all the parks. I didn't know the open amphitheaters like I do in the western suburbs of Philadelphia. So we do agents like us that tend to be honest with the clients. You're going to hear agents. So people listening, just hear this and you can quote me all you want. There are
Ah,
agents that are going to say they work Adam and I have talked about this before. I work all 5 counties plus New Jersey, they'll say, right? I work all 5 counties and New Jersey. And you're like, there is no way that you're actually doing your client full justice by saying that you can help them the best in the regions that are really outside of their everyday market. Um,
what's your favorite vegan bakery in Collingswood, New Jersey?
yeah, no, yeah.
Right.
And I'm not saying
What's my favorite sushi spot in Plymouth?
I'm
Like, I
not
don't know.
saying that I have to be that much in the local community
Yeah,
to really help our clients. There's a lot more that we help our clients with than just a bakery or a sushi spot for sure. But there really has to be a comfort of understanding um, really a lot more about it than just geography, right?
agreed.
It's
Agreed.
local. It's here. We can all read it, right? We can read about location, convenience to the highways and public transportation and school district. We can all read about that, but understanding what that means for the needs of our client is really super important. So I am very upfront about the regions that I will work and that I will refer out. So
to your client's benefit and to your own.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
everybody, look, I'm happy with the decision that I've made in my business. Every agent can make their own decision in their business.
Yeah.
But I'm happy with the decision that I make because I know I'm doing the right thing. And in the end of the day, to me, that serves it serves my business and my
That
clients.
you're right, and that's correct.
Yeah,
Couldn't
yeah.
couldn't agree more.
So there's another part of the Jersey, Pennsylvania difference here, and maybe this whole NAR situation, this whole lawsuit that everybody, the big buzz is about, comes into play here. But um, Pennsylvania is a state that is all for almost 30 years has practiced buyer agency, which means that us real estate agents, when we're working with the buyer, we disclose it and everybody signs off on it, including in the agreement of sale, that me as the buyer's agent am working on behalf of the buyer, even though the seller is paying me and my brokerage the commission. So the seller pays the commission and I get it from the seller, but I am representing my client in their best interest as the buyer.
Mm-hmm.
New Jersey, am I correct, does not have, even though I think you told me you practiced it, but
Yeah.
it wasn't mandatory.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you say you practiced it, we have the consumer notice to sign. Does that mean that you went through the consumer notice and explained that you're working as the buyer agent? And how about in the agreement of sale? Did you note it in the agreement of sale, or it wasn't even there in the agreement of sale?
Yeah. So there are layers to that, and it's great. And I'm glad you brought it up. And I think it's our proximity, New Jersey's proximity to PA,
Mhm.
and some of the overlap that best practices transferred.
Yeah. Okay.
It's true. It's true. While a buyer agency agreement is not a mandatory document in New Jersey, I have always seen it on either side of a deal. It was a best practice. There is a consumer notice. They call it a consumer information sheet, a
Okay.
CIS,
Mhm.
and its receipt needs to be documented and is included in the agreement of sale.
Okay.
Their contract of sale the one in New Jersey, which acts as a tort state, like a handful of others in our nation, um, reads a lot differently than the agreement of sale in the Commonwealth of PA.
I know that.
It's, I mean,
Yours
I
is
have,
loose. Yours is loose at best.
it's loose. It has a lot of areas that are gray,
Very
um,
loose.
which I think is by design because in some transactions there is layered in or rolled in an attorney partner
Mhm.
to work with the buyer and another attorney to work with the seller, who as a
And that's
team with
elected. That's
yeah,
an elected. That is not
yes,
mandatory. Just
not
clarify that.
mandatory.
Mhm.
Um, and really, there's the joke about there's North Jersey, there's South Jersey. Is there a
Yeah.
Central Jersey? But there really are two different practices of real estate in the
Understood.
state of New Jersey, depending on where you are, above or below that Chickies and Pete's in Bordentown. Everything below that is South Jersey. Everything above it is North.
It is
Um,
amazing.
North Jersey, it's almost 99.5 out of 100 have attorneys involved,
Mhm.
transactions, and
Yeah.
it's probably half the deals in South Jersey have attorneys involved.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but your question about could this change realtor and or consumer behavior based on the NAR settlement? It should. I don't think it will where we are. What we're reading are national headlines with states that didn't require it. But we live in a region where Delaware, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania have either required it or done it already. So I mean, we've
That's good.
worked toward for 30 plus years. We've worked as realtors toward protecting the interests of the clients who choose to hire us. I mean, in this case, buyers,
I love
which is
it.
what which the settlement is around.
I mean, I love it because we have less to adjust if the settlement does proceed. And I mean, we've been practicing it and our clients just understand that that's what, that's where their coverage is. So I do love that. The one thing we got to keep moving just because people do get bored of hearing us talk all the time. But the one thing I can hope that's going to come up with come out of this settlement is that all of us practitioners are going to behave at a truly professional level. Well, okay, right. You roll your eyes a little bit because that's the
No,
whole.
I'm not rolling my eyes. I'm agreeing with you because of the experience. Like the experience I had for years in the city, it's like, what are you like? Are you kidding? That some people practice real estate this way. Um, I'd hope that the level of professionalism rises as an industry. You know me, you know this about me. Like I don't suffer fools well, so I had to train myself to not care about what other people do in their business.
Mhm,
My hope is that the general public, when they're looking to hire someone, happen upon a true professional,
mhm,
right? Happen upon you or someone who's been doing it for the right amount of time and done it the right way.
mhm.
You don't have to do it for 10 years. If someone's been doing it 2 years, but they've been mentored, trained, and taught the right way, and they're going to protect you and your best interest, hire that person.
Yeah.
Um, but like some people like just don't interview multiple agents, even as a buyer's agent. Like you should, they should, the general public should meet with 2 to 4 people
And the
before
ones
moving
that
forward.
the ones, especially the buyers are gonna stumble upon by accident, like pressing the button on Zillow or Realtor are typically the scarier ones.
Yeah,
The people that are, buying leads versus people that are building businesses and
right.
may not use that revenue source. Uh
I
yeah,
agree.
we can just hope that people do understand. One thing that you said that I think, and I'm not 100% sure, it hasn't crossed my mind that way, but you you as a buyer or a seller, you get to hire your agent. I mean, I think we tend to feel it. And when I say we, I mean just a human, like a homeowner. I feel like homeowners tend to feel it on the listing side. They may not feel it as much on the buyer side. A lot of times people will
That
just
they have the opportunity to do that. Yeah.
they'll just stumble upon somebody either at an open house or like I said on Zillow or whatever and not realize how important it is that they're hiring somebody first of all that they have a choice and you can get out of a buyer agent contract if you're unhappy. All these things are true. um
Oh, that
and
is one thing that I love about the New Jersey buyer agency contract. It's very explicit. Just in writing, send an email,
Mhm.
and with 3 days notice, and our professional working relationship can end for any
Yeah,
reason.
as we should because people
Yeah.
need to have the right to get out of things that that they can change their mind or learn better. So I'm going to ask you this question. Since most of our listeners are from the Philly suburbs, I have to say that's definitely where most people are listening
It's the
from.
name of the thing.
Okay. So I wanted you to talk about a couple towns in South Jersey. For instance, give us some places for us worth crossing the bridge for. Um, Maybe some special restaurants, a special park, this outdoor amphitheater. Give us a couple options here.
Interesting. So I'm imagining that question can be answered well with your belly, like
Oh, wait, what?
restaurants, with your belly, with your
Yeah.
stomach. Um, Il Villaggio is a restaurant in Cherry Hill that surprises people. Um, it is it now has a bar. It hadn't for like 20 years, and you went, but it was always popular and always busy because the food was so good.
Right.
And now they have vodka, so it's great to pair your steak with a martini or
Or wine,
your
something
awesome
like that.
pasta with wine. Yeah,
Yeah.
um, I love it there. So Il Villaggio in Cherry Hill, around the corner from a place that I think a lot of people do know, Kaminsky's, because it's been there 40 years.
Sure.
Um, so those are great. If I go along, if I'm a bird, I fly along the Patco. Like that's how I see Jersey developing, and the
Okay.
demand exists. Like it's Philly East, if we're honest with ourselves.
Understood.
Um, Collingswood has such a vibrant and bustling downtown and main strip. There are at least 3 businesses that are also those same businesses on East Passyunk Avenue, like Tildy's Toy Store, Sabrina's, or some another coffee shop. and then there's like another retail location, and it feels like we came from the East Passyunk neighborhood, so it
Well,
feels familiar and welcoming.
I may sound, I shouldn't say it, but isn't that what South Jersey is? People from South Philly?
Yeah, yeah, and a lot of the businesses came over. Like
Sure.
there's a famous Middle Eastern place at like 10th and Federal called Batar's that's been around forever and just closed and made headlines because after so long, many decades in South Philadelphia, it closed. Well, their family members own a place that's very famous, Norma's, in the Barclay Farm Shopping Center. It's been
Oh,
there
okay.
30 or 40 years.
Yeah,
Um,
I know Barclay Farms. I
so
remember it from us being there. There was a deli in there.
yeah. And now it's a salad works, but it's all good. No, there's a lot of matchup and a lot of feel
Yeah.
of South Philly and South Jersey, and but there's also like vibrant differences. And like I wasn't joking about the vegan bakery. There's a great one that has awesome coffee. And if you didn't know it was vegan, you wouldn't know in Collingswood. Um, Collingswood's like where we go to see Santa climb the ladder of the
Yeah.
fire truck to light the tree on the top of the municipal building.
The
Um,
Collingswood, and Haddonfield, they're borough towns. I mean, like you say, they're along the Patco train. So all of
yeah,
I'm sorry, all of the Western Philly suburbs, they're this is where people want to move today is these borough towns, either
yeah,
along the main line or along the rail that goes up to Lansdale that'll hit Ambler and all those towns. So,
yeah. Was that called the R5 back in the day? Um,
the R5, yeah,
yeah.
the main line
The
train. Yeah.
the that's the 100 speed right now. So like Haddon Township is another one with a vibrant downtown.
Yeah.
That has another great vodka bar. I call it G Bar. Gio Mero's is the name of the restaurant. Um, of course, PJ Wellingham's are ubiquitous. They're at a lot of places.
Yeah, but they're
Uh,
everywhere.
yeah, they're everywhere. I love it. I mean, Westmont. Then northerly of there is like Morristown, which is very nice, a Tony area with a very highly ranked school district. Um, I mean, you really can't go wrong. It depends on what someone wants in a neighborhood.
Mhm.
I like where we live because it was built with walkability in mind, not to things, but in the thing. So like roads were designed to be winding, and trees were in your way. Like you won't go the same way every time if you're walking for leisure, and it's great.
Barclays, if I'm correct, is almost one of the older towns.
1961, 2, and 3, they built
I don't
900
mean towns,
homes.
I mean neighborhoods.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you're right. Ed Scarborough's kind of fame in that area. He built a lot of the communities
Okay.
down there. He chose to live in this one, where we are in Barclay Farm when it was completed. I love some of the old news clippings. I've done my homework. I just love the neighborhood. Like the ads they put out, like the new Deerfield model is available for
Yeah.
22,500. Move in ready,
And if
1962.
and if you like a basement, you only have to pay an additional $500. And how many people didn't do it? Oh my God.
So many people. And now those same models with the basements are selling. I mean, they're selling like hotcakes. I mean,
Mhm.
uh, it's great. And like I think the market is showing that, right? You're seeing it where you are,
Yeah.
the heat in the marketplace. A home goes up. It's the demand has been created because it's been marketed in a smart way, coming soon without showings, building. And then you have this unveiling grand opening, be it private or open houses, and you get multiple offers over ask. I mean, it's great. But I mean, working with buyers, I think that's where it comes back to what you said, that it's important to work with someone with knowledge of that area that you're interested in,
Mhm.
for more than geography and more than coffee shops. They then will know some of the cooperating agents. They'll know the listing agent.
Oh yeah.
So if Adam, the buyer's agent, is looking at a house listed by Sharon, the listing agent, I know I can text you and call you and say like, here's the story of the people I've been working with, and make you smile, laugh, or
Yeah.
cry. And
I
feel
mean,
how important it is.
it is important because I mean, and I do explain that to the seller as well, that having these relationships hopefully is good. At least we're getting good communication. And we're not going to say that buyer agent will bring the best offer. I mean, the sellers are clearly still going to look at the best offer for them. but having that line of communication and trust in the agent should help with the listing agent, as you know, as much as we can help.
Yeah,
So,
every little bit helps, even if it helps a little.
yeah. All right. So since I do try to keep this podcast in a timely manner, we are going to move into, I hope it was a good conversation for everybody about both sides of the river. You know,
Oh, this conversation's for other people? I thought we were just chatting.
well, we are. It's sort of like we're chatting, like the good old days. But it's time to turn the table. You get to ask me a question.
Just one?
We'll see.
For someone living in the Delaware Valley, the Philadelphia region, what's the best place to have a second home?
Ooh, that's a little personal. I mean,
It
personal.
is.
I mean, I can tell you what my best place is to have a second home. It's the Jersey Shore. I mean,
Okay.
on vacation. I grew up with a second home down in Margate, and I still visit there every summer. We rent now. My parents went and sold the family house, so we rent in Margate, probably 5 blocks from where my parents had a house.
Great.
Um, so the South Jersey Shore, everybody knows that's listening to this, is I would say from Atlantic City south, um, and down to Cape May, New Jersey, which I love to visit when I'm there. I mean, who doesn't like a trip to the Brown Room in Congress Hall? And but I love the Jersey Shore. I mean, it's door to door, less than an hour and a half. So I
Yeah.
can go for a month and commute back and forth if I have showings or listings, whatever I need to do. And it's just lovely down there. It's very walkable, which I love in the summer. You know, let's face it, who doesn't want to walk for a cup of coffee in the nice weather? And I can
Yeah.
walk through the boardwalk and watch the glistening of the water, the brown water in South Jersey. So that's it for me. But, you know, as you know, being from Delco or being from the Philly region, I mean, we have the Poconos. I mean, let's talk about the Philadelphia region. It has so many things to offer people. Not only is primary housing a great place to be, it's nowhere near expensive as in New York, Boston, LA, et cetera, but you still have a big city with so many things to offer, art, culture, food. And then we also have great places to vacation that are less than 2 hours. The Poconos is less than 2 hours. So you can ski, you can mountain hike, you can bike, you can do everything up there. And then you can be at the beach too.
It's all great.
Yes, that's my favorite second home. Where's your second home choice?
I would say the Jersey Shore, however, with the
Yeah.
caveat that I've had these conversations with Mrs. Baldwin,
Yeah.
and if she's being honest with me, I think she prefers the mountains and
Does
like
she?
and lake life. So like Lake
Well,
Harmony, Lake Wallenpaupack.
of course. So Lake Harmony, right. Great place to be.
Yeah.
You know, I grew up at overnight camp up in Maine on a lake.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so I loved water sports. I still try to water ski, hopefully before I get too old to get back up. But Lake Harmony, am I correct? That's the lake. Oh, that's Wallenpaupack. No, no.
Wallenpaupack's like longer.
Well, one of
Um,
them has no motorboats.
uh, of those two, I broke my rib on a motorboat on Lake Wallenpaupack. I
Oh,
was there. We were on an inner tube being dragged behind it, and the idea was that the driver was going to get you to fly off by coming back across
yeah.
the wake. And I went up really, really high and slammed down. Like, oh,
Yeah, that breaks bones. That breaks
yeah. So
bones.
that was a motor. That was a motorboat.
So, so she's thinking lake life. I mean, lake life,
Oh,
I,
Naomi is another Great Lake, Lake Naomi.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I grew up going to the shore. And when you go to the shore, like that's what you do. You go to the
Yeah,
shore.
and maybe my wife will tune into this podcast. Maybe she won't. I think that's my preference too, but we'll do what she wants.
Well, since you just said that, I hope she logs into this podcast. Did you have a second question or you were just pulling my chain?
um. Oh. Um. I thought that was a good one.
It was a good one. We can
Are there any other primary home question? You love Philadelphia region through and through. If you were to have to move to another metropolitan area, of what you know about it, whether you've been there or not, where would you choose to live?
Paris.
In America. Paris is
You
great.
stumped me.
Paris is a great answer.
Paris is I'm actually like, yeah, I'm addicted.
Yeah,
That is
it's a
so
hard
hard
question.
because of course I think we think about Florida because we're getting older. I just don't think I'm ready.
Yeah,
So yeah, I've never left this area. I left for 4 years
yeah,
to go to
man.
college and came right back. Started in the family business 4 days after graduation. Huge mistake, friends. Huge mistake. Don't do that. Yeah, no, I don't think I've gone anywhere else that I like as much.
Good
Paris.
answer. And an honest answer. Paris. Yeah,
Let's go
I
with
like that.
Paris. I'm going with Paris. All right.
Do it.
We've got to close this up, Adam. Thank you so much. It was so great to see you because
Oh,
I
thank
know we
you.
talk once in a while, but I miss you. We always had fun when we used to record my radio spots over at KYW.
Yes.
That was the good
Yes.
old days. And
I miss you.
by the way, that's why I do this podcast because I do like talking and being recorded, I guess is the truth.
You're a natural broadcaster. That's what it
I'm a
is.
broadcaster. Get me a broadcasting job and
And you're adding value and you're
I
helping people.
I can stop selling houses. But I really I appreciate your time, and I think our listeners will love listening. Those that do Pensy and Jersey that are very familiar, like most Philadelphians are. So, thank you for your expertise. We'll chat next time. Thank you.
Thank
Oh,
you very much.
where can
Yes.
you
Sorry.
reach Adam Baldwin really quick? If you want to touch Adam
The
Baldwin,
BaldwinTeam.com or Baldwin at Compass.
okay. And if you need to find him, you can just reach out to me because, like I said before, we do co-op and work together whenever needed for South Jersey. And thank you, everybody. I'll be back next week. See you next time.